Donald Trump was on his way to receive the bodies of 4 American soldiers killed in his war with Iran yesterday. And even in that moment, Donald Trump turned their deaths into propaganda for himself. Here's a good supercut from our friend Aaron Rupar of Trump answering questions before this dignified transfer ceremony. And Donald Trump propagandizes the dead service members and says, no, 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 they like this war. They knew Iran can never have a nuclear weapon. Take a look at this.
Some of you are going with us to honor our heroes, and they are indeed great heroes, actually. They said, and all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. They won't have a nuclear weapon. So we're going to honor them.
Soldiers, do you have an update on the investigation as to how they were killed in Jordan?
No, they're doing that. That'll be released.
There was a report
you know what?
that it was Iran targeting barracks.
I don't know. Well, they're going to pay a big price. They're being decimated.
Is that report inaccurate?
Yeah, please.
Sir, what do you say to families of these fallen soldiers when Americans are wrongly against this war? How do you ask them?
Well, Americans aren't against the war. A poll just came out. Americans don't want high gasoline prices, but they're not against the war. That just came out loud and clear in a poll. Nobody wants Iran to have a nuclear weapon. Do you want Iran to have a nuclear weapon? You think it's good? Go ahead.
What will you say to them today?
All I'm going to say is we love you. We love your child, and that's what they are to them. They're their children. There's no games, no nothing. That's it.
All right. There are 2 lies here. And the first one is just disgusting. Trump says of the dead soldiers, all of them said very strongly, we cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. How could Trump possibly know that? Did Trump speak to the deceased service members about Iran's nuclear program? And all 4 independently delivered the exact same line, conveniently matching Trump's justification for the war just before they died? Has Trump's White House provided any evidence for this claim at all? Of course they haven't. Trump took 4 people who can no longer speak for themselves and placed his own political talking point into their mouths, and it is vile and disgusting. And he turned these deceased service members essentially into characters in a story that's designed to absolve Trump of responsibility for the war he chose to go into, which killed them. And that is grotesque because these soldiers volunteered to serve their country, but that doesn't mean they endorsed every military decision made by Donald Trump. And it doesn't mean they supported this particular war. And it certainly doesn't give Donald Trump the right to announce what they supposedly believed after they were killed. Now, these dignified transfers are supposed to center the fallen and their grieving families. And Trump used the trip to advertise his war and basically claim, even the soldiers I got killed agreed that I was right to do this. Think of how depraved that is. Now, then there's the second lie, which is comparatively minor, but it's still a doozy, which is Trump goes, oh, a poll just came out. Americans are not against this war. They don't want high gas prices, but they're not against the war. I was not able to find that poll. What I did find are polls that say the opposite. The Washington Post Ipsos poll finds 68% of Americans say this is not a war worth fighting. 28% say, yes, it is worth fighting this war. Even support within Trump's own MAGA base has been falling as the death toll and economic cost grow. Gas prices are again above $4 a gallon. 18 American service members have now been killed. More than 500 have been reportedly injured. And Trump doesn't cite a specific poll because he made it up on the spot. Listen to how he separates the war, by the way, from its consequences. Americans supposedly support the war. They just don't like high gas prices produced by it. But you really can't separate those things. The casualties are part of the war. The injuries are part of the war. The grieving families are part of the war. The gas prices and tens of billions of dollars spent and the escalation It's all part of the decision that Trump made. The promise was, I'm the peace president. Hillary was going to start 4 wars. Biden was going to start 4 wars. Kamala was going to start 4 wars. He bragged, under me, there will be no new wars. Now Americans are dying in a war most of the country is against. And Trump's answer is to speak on behalf of the dead and fabricate polling that tells him the war is popular and he is popular. We should be careful about remote diagnosis of people. I'm not diagnosing Trump with anything, but these comments sound sociopathic. 4 flag-draped transfer cases arriving at Dover. 4 families about to experience the worst moment of their lives. And Donald Trump goes, the dead soldiers told me they love the war. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. How anyone can defend this crap, I don't know. If you're trying to get away from cigarettes or vaping, one of the first practical questions is what you replace them with, especially if you're not ready to eliminate nicotine immediately. Check out our sponsor, Zippix Nicotine Toothpicks. Zippix uses quality plant-derived nicotine with a very short list of ingredients. It gives you another option for managing nicotine with no smoke or vapor. Zippix comes in 6 flavors. There's 2 or 3 milligram options, lets you control the nicotine as compared to a cigarette or vape. They're also easy to use throughout the day and in places where smoking or vaping isn't allowed, or it would require you to step out conspicuously for a cigarette, which can cause other problems. Zippix also offers caffeine and B12 toothpicks if you're reducing nicotine altogether or don't even use it at all. If you're tired of cigarettes or vaping, try Zippix nicotine toothpicks and get 10% off your first order with code Pakman at zippixtoothpicks.com. The link is in the description. You must be 21 or older to order. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.